would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you wanna cut a dash? Polish up the shoes, throw on something fine. We don't talk about diesels, I'm running on style this time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels gleam in the night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's a little tight, but I'm feeling brand new. Living large tonight, no budget reviews. Blues! What do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
Well, viewers, have we got something exotic here? A 2005 Daewoo Kalos 1.4 SX. Designed by T200 at Tal Design, nevertheless. This is one of the most rebadged cars in all of history. It doesn't quite compare with the old Suzuki Super Carry that was sold under, I think, something like 20 brands. It's not quite as many as that, but it's a lot. This car was known as the Daewoo Kalos originally. Hello to Kalos v Kalos, of course. It does actually have a 16-valve engine in it, because it's the 1.4 with 93 horsepower and 0 to 60 in 10.7 seconds, which for the Daewoo Kaloses was as fast as you were able to go. There were less power engines available as well. The name was changed in 2005 to the Chevy Kalos because the Daewoo brand was discontinued in Europe because of, well, the reputation, I think. So it only lasted 10 years over here. Chevy Kalos lasted until 2008, a three-door version that was available as well. And then in 2008, the car was renamed as Chevy Aveo. It had quite a comprehensive facelift. The model code changed from T200 to T250. And the interiors also changed and the engines were revised. This one has the 1.4 Family 1 engine, which dates back to the Mark 1 Astra and Opel Kadett D of 1980. Although this is Daewoo's own version of it. Cars built on this platform and this design were actually made until 2023, if you can believe that, in some parts of the world. It's made all sorts of places. I think it's like 12 to 15 different places. So chances are, if you've been anywhere in the world, you've seen one of these somewhere. In this country, they're not very well remembered, they're not very valuable. This particular car has had some work done. The rust is starting to get to it, which is a shame, but it's been welded and it's okay at the moment. It has been to Rustival, that's where I saw it, Rustival 2 last year. To Steve, who actually owns a Jaguar XK 4.2 Coupe that I drove last time I was down in this area. Yes, his other car is a Jaguar, because I've driven it. Has very kindly offered it for review today. Okay, viewers, it turns out I was being an idiot. You don't need to use the key. There is actually a little handle in here. So my incompetence stands as testament to this terrible channel. Right, we've got plenty of things in here actually. The boot's about 220 litres. The most obvious rival I could think to this car at the time would have been something like a Mark 6 Fiesta, which came out in 2002. These came out in this country in 2003. The boot's a little bit smaller at 220 litres, but still plenty of things you can fit in here. Steve's son has been using this car to run around, and so I think there are quite a few sort of personal accessories he's used to smarten Kalos up. It's also why there's not been time to clean it. He's been using it. This hasn't been time to clean it before I've had it filming, but I don't think that matters really. Alloy wheels, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's not talk about that. So quite a tall car actually. Nice and easy to get into. Headroom is okay. I'm just under 6 foot. I'm about 5'11". I'm brushing the headlining, but that's okay. We've also got this random picnic table thing in here, which yeah. Oh dear. That doesn't sound very good, viewers. Never mind. One thing you look in here and you sort of look around at the details and you think it's not distinctively kind of Daewoo, but it is very, very early to mid 2000s in here. It's like, say you ask someone like an AI generator, draw the interior of a Super Mini in 2005, and this is what you get. There's no particular sort of distinctively Daewoo elements to it. It's very nice. It's fine. Like, you know, it just feels like something that's just been put together by a sort of committee. It doesn't feel particularly kind of sort of beholden one manufacturer or another. Material's actually pretty nice. It's going to be a shame if Steve has to get rid of this car, because actually it's in quite good condition in here in particular. It's a shame that actually we're a little bit dark road today, so we can't see it particularly well. We haven't got an armrest or anything, but the upholstery is quite nice. Plastic door cards, well, hard plastic, with some little details like this kind of silver picked out interior door handle, but nothing really particularly sort of memorable, really. Which is a bit of a shame, because Giugiaro probably had a field day kind of trying to come up with a distinctive car, and yet these days it just looks like something that's as generic as they come, which is fine. This is kind of the appeal of something like a Kalos, isn't it? Got 4 electric windows, it's nice. We've got a power shot driver's window, might be. There is actually no seat height adjustment. That is for the lumbar, which is nice. But nice of lumbar support in a car like this, and alloy wheels and little spoiler and things. And it's SX model, which is good. It's just the whole thing just doesn't smack of being particularly kind of you know, distinctive or anything. It's fine. Obviously, because you're going to sell this car all around the world in different markets, you don't want to go for anything too sort of adventurous, which might put people off. Loudput stereo down here. You can see how actually you mount the instrumentation, right-hand drive and left-hand drive in here. You see it's pretty easy to understand that. I wonder if my secret mission documents go in the glove box. Well, I probably would if we leave those things out, but we won't do that. The door bins are really, really thin. I don't know why. And also, although this car's only done 52,000 miles, you can see there's quite a lot of wear on there, but again, it's 20 years old. What exactly do you expect? We've got air conditioning in here. We've got a little slot for something. I imagine you could put a doubled-in radio in here if you wanted. These stalks do not feel very nice. They don't feel very nice at all, but it's fine. There might be a shot of a Lanos, actually, which is the car really that's replaced. Fog light switches on here. Wipers are on there. Just light this up a bit. You can see the instruments again. It's fine. It's not going to cause any problems or anything. It just I struggle to say things about it that in any way mark it out from anything else, like a Corsa C, or I don't know, right with a Honda logo or something like that, which is again a very forgotten Super Mini of the early 2000s, which was designed in the mid-90s. Very typical kind of Daewoo Chevy gear lever. Not the nicest gearbox to use, a little bit sort of floppy and everything, but it's fine. Fog light switch, I don't know what actually this does. Nothing. So, there we go. What more can we say? We've got a centre console. Handbrake feels okay. Yeah. Let's have a look at the engine. Maybe we'll have a few more things to talk about when we look under the bonnet. So this is a 16-valve version of Daewoo's E-Tech 2 engine, which is based on the old General Motors Family 100 introduced in about 1980 in the Opel Kadett and Vauxhall Astra Mark 1. So it's 1.4 litres in capacity and generates 93 horsepower. There was also an 8-valve version of this a little bit earlier on. The 1.2 engine actually is not a General Motors engine at all. It's a version of the 800cc Suzuki Alto engine from the 1980s that was used in a car called the Daewoo Tico, a rebadged Suzuki Alto built in places like Poland in the 90s. And that was continued into the Matiz in 1998. You know, the Matiz from the certain Welsh-based channel that we've already seen a sticker of on the back of this car. That was an enlarged version of the 800cc engine in the Matiz, so it has a little cam belt on it. That generates sort of, I think, 70 horsepower. The one to go for is probably this one. It is a bit faster, 0 to 60, about 10.7 seconds. There is a cam belt, obviously, on this particular side here you need to worry about, but I don't think it's particularly difficult to find parts of these or anything. The engine, I think, is also similar to the Lanos, and this continued in the Aveo, I think, right the way through until 2011 when they were discontinued, and then the new Aveo came in, which is a bit different from this. But yeah, I don't find that there's an awful lot to say about under the bonnet here. It looks very standard. Accessibility is good. We've got still this sort of Opal type coolant reservoir cap in there. Other than that, yeah. The GM Daewoo Auto and Technology Company, a fine constructor of cars that no longer exists. I've actually been given this 2004 Kalos brochure by Steve, so it doesn't quite relate to his model year of car, but it's mainly correct. Look at this sort of early 2000s artwork, and this lady who looks just like Halle Berry from Die Another Day. The Kalos is made of flowing geometric lines, and the different sections of the body that come together with geometric precision. From the front, the Kalos stands out from the crowd, its stylish bumper and extended body lines following through the grille to the lower bumper edge. The wide grille with a single chrome platted slat, geometrically cut headlamp units and flared wings all reinforce the sporty look. It just looks normal to me. If your life is a balancing act between a demanding job, your friends and family, an overpacked schedule, a non-stop mobile phone, but we understand that your time is precious, you take your transport seriously. Don't most people just take these to the shops? There we go, there's an SX like this with the rear spoiler, testing cars to the extreme. So the early development on these was actually done in Daewoo's technical centre in Worthing, which could close by the time the car started being made. They did the rest of the development in South Korea. There's a lady looking very pensive in the back. It's just a very kind of normal interior, really. Standard single shot CD plus, standard on the SX, yes. There we go, complete satisfaction, 3-year warranty. I think at the back of here somewhere we've got some specifications. There we go, yeah. So we get the 1.2 with 71 horsepower and the 1.4 16 valve 93. There was actually an 8-valve version of the engine available a bit earlier as well. So yeah, there's some colours. We think this is sports blue, this particular colour. And there we are. There's the other ones. So you've got the S, the SE, and the SX. You get an automatic gearbox on this one as well. So interesting specifications. But there we go. A Daewoo Kalos brochure from 2004. When you drive one of these cars, you're very, very aware of how high up it is. It's sort of high up like, I don't know, a Daihatsu Move or something like that. Very light steering, upright driving position. Gear lever seems quite low down and a bit floppy, but that's okay. Clutch is very, very light indeed, which is what you want on a car like this, really, I suppose. See, Steve's son normally drives this, and I imagine as a first car it will probably be fine for most people who just pass their test. Yeah, it feels okay. There's nothing sort of radical or extraordinary about it, but for the intended purpose, the intended market for this car, it's absolutely fine. Just wait a second here before I get killed by someone who's in a vastly superior vehicle to this, or in their imagination anyway. In some ways we should all be driving around in things like this, shouldn't we? Not bad on fuel, light, small, easy to drive. Sort of car that's becoming rapidly endangered. Just want to get used to this floppy gearbox. It's okay actually. Engine seems to pull quite well. It's got 93 horsepower. The 1.2 had 71 horsepower, and then there was also an 8-valve version of the 1.4, which actually was replaced by this 16-valve version that generated 82 horsepower in the early ones. When the car was renamed the Chevy Aveo in 2008, so the second facelift for this, and a much more major one, the engines were changed to, I think, about 81 horsepower for the 1.2 and 98 horsepower for the 1.4. To drive, yeah, it's fine. It seems to corner just absolutely fine. Road holding is good. It's just I don't know. It's just not particularly memorable in many ways. The most memorable thing is this floppy gear change and the very upright driving position. Other than that, somebody went into a Daewoo showroom in 2005 and saw the Chevy signs going up. Of course, that's probably they changed over. There's nothing really in this car to scare them away. If you just want a good price and good, economical and reliable transport, which will serve you well for many years to come, then this would be fine. The only problem is these days, obviously, they're just not worth anything. So if anything major goes wrong, you're kind of in a bit of trouble, because I'm not sure spare parts are that available for these anymore. And also, it's just not worth anything. So yeah, just bear that in mind before you sort of splash too much money on your Chevy Kalos or Daewoo Kalos. The way this car drives actually might be its best feature. Once you get over this floppy gear change, it's fine. Ride is pretty good. The paddling seems okay. Obviously, it's not a sports car or anything, but it's not sort of Mark 6 Fiesta levels of driver involvement. But it's actually fine. Steve did say to me that I'd be pleasantly surprised at how well this drives, and yeah, gear change aside and strange upright driving position aside, it's alright. Brakes seem good. It's a shame we're just going to disappear very quickly off the roads, like the Nexias and the Leganzas and the Nuberas and the Lanoses and the Esperos have done. And I've driven basically all of those. All of them. I think I'm the only person to have driven 2 Daewoo Lanoses on no budget reviews, or any series on YouTube, for many years. So yeah, it's actually quite a pleasant surprise how this copes very well with this city traffic and outskirts of Manchester where we are today. It's not a memorable drive by any means particularly, but it's very, very competent. And if you can find one of these that's alright, it's not rusty and it's been well looked after, I don't see why it can't be good everyday transport. Just don't expect the last word in dynamism or driver involvement, and you know, I don't see why you couldn't enjoy one of these. Steve's been enjoying this for a long time, his son's enjoying it now. But yeah, quite impressive really. Let's have a look at some of the places where they made this T200, Daewoo Kalos, and all the other names that they used, and its T250 successor. So here we go: South Korea, China, Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, Thailand, Vietnam, India, Russia, Uzbekistan, Ukraine, Poland, Egypt, Azerbaijan, and Kazakhstan. The car was known as the Daewoo Kalos at this time in this country, but also the Chevy Lover, the Chevy Nexia, the Daewoo Gentra, the Holden Barina, the Pontiac G3, United States, the Pontiac G3 Wave, or just Pontiac Wave in Canada, the Revon Nexia, the Suzuki Swift Plus, yes, really, and the Zaz Vida. Obviously Chevy Aveo and Chevy Kalos as well over here. The funny thing is that this car in Australia replaced the Corsa C-based Holden Barina and was itself called a Barina, and the Australians didn't really like that. They didn't like the fact that the sort of posher car for Europe had been replaced by the cheaper one in their market. But there we go. Trim levels on the Daewoo badge one in this country were S, SE, SX, like this one, Blue, Extra, and Extra Cool. I don't really think I'm looking extra cool today in my Kalos. Maybe like an extra fool. When the car was renamed Chevy Kalos in 2005 and a Freedom model became available, other trim levels became available like the Icon, SE Plus, and the Sport. You didn't really get much more in the way of power though. You kind of still had this 93 horsepower engine in the Sport. Later on, there was the S, LS, and LT, and the LT did actually get, I think, 98 horsepower, which is wonderful. So viewers, should you consider one of these T200, T250 cars for your hard-earned budget of £1,000, in this case the Chevy Kalos, Daewoo Kalos, or the Chevy Aveo in this country, well, it's quite hard to pay more than £2,000 for one of these cars. They don't really have any following at the moment. Not at all.
I don't like this gear lever, particularly. It's a bit nasty. The interior is, well, masterclass in anodyne mid-2000s interior design. And, yeah, we've got rust issues, but I kind of like this car. I can't not like it. I love anything to do with Daewoo, so there we go. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. And we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.